It's the Bad King Walker.
Welcome back, LFG fam, to another video on the channel. It is the season finale of Loki. Let's do it. Ratings. I'll go first. I was the most consistent. I'm gonna end it with a 10. With a damn 10. Phenomenal. Phenomenal final episode. Crazy what they did with that man. What the implications are in the MCU, I have no idea. And at this point, I don't think MCU has any fucking idea what the implications are. But as for the episode and as this season, I'm going to go ahead and throw my season rating in there as well. As a standalone, fuck whatever the MCU is doing. What Loki did as a show, I think was a 9 out of 10 for the entire season. We'll see what happens with the MCU. But like I said, standalone by itself, phenomenal season for me. Coates, what'd you think?
With a bang, man. 10 out of 10. Can't complain. I can't wait to get into this one, to be honest. 15 minutes in, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So, I'm ready.
What'd you think for the whole season?
As a whole, I mean, I have more lows than the rest of you guys, but I am agreeing with the 9.
With the 9.
So, yeah, it was very, very good. Definitely recommend.
For sure. Jet?
This is the single greatest show Disney Plus has produced thus far. Tom Hiddleston, again, just proves that he is a master of his craft. This finale was fucking awesome, man. It was dope. It was in the last video we did, I predicted something, which wasn't that hard of a prediction, but I did say that was gonna happen. So when we talk about it, I'll bring it up. So that was really cool to see. I had a good ass time with it, man. And this season was just coming off the last season, which was, I don't know if it was gonna be hard to be as consistent as the first season was, but to top it,
yes,
was damn near impossible. And I'm not gonna say that they topped it, but I could say that in some people's eyes, I can definitely see them saying that this season was better in a lot of aspects. For me, I'm damn. I'll give it a 9 also. I want to give it a 10 though.
The episode
I'm gonna give the episode a 10. Okay. I'm gonna give the season a 9.
Okay.
But when this conversation goes on, I think I'm gonna give it a 10, bro. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
Standing right now, I have nothing to complain about. I have nothing to complain about.
I didn't think. Okay, we'll get into it, but the 9 is where I'm at, just because of very few low points in the season. And based off of your rating in the last episode, you might give it a 10. That episode by itself doesn't hinder the season for you?
Nah, why would it?
Because it was filler episodes. And okay.
But again, it was an 8. Like, I didn't hate that.
No, for sure. For sure. I just thought it would have hindered it a little bit, which is where the 9 is at. But there you guys go. 30 for the final episode. 20 fucking whatever. We all ended with 9s, right? So yo, phenomenal season. If you guys haven't seen it, which by now, I mean, you're watching this video, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but for those few that have not seen it, go check it out. It's a phenomenal season. Like Jed said, Tom Hiddleston, and this final episode in particular, carried that show. Not the show, this episode.
Absolutely.
But great performances from the cast all around. We'll get into it, but I'm going to tell you right now, this for me beats last season. Based off of the performances for everything, the dialogue. Yeah, this for me beats last season.
Absolutely.
So if you guys haven't seen it, go see it. Go check out the episode. We highly recommend this show. Disney Plus is got another. This is probably honestly their best show on Disney Plus. At this point in time, I think this takes their best show for Disney Plus. That could be a conversation, but for me, that's what it is. But we're gonna go ahead and get into heavy spoilers now. So for whatever reason you haven't seen it, go check it out. Come back. We're gonna give you what we thought on the entire episode, what we thought on the entire season. So spoiler warning now. Here we go. Go ahead, Coach. What do you want to talk about, man? Go ahead.
Honestly, like I feel like we should just go start to finish with this because it.
Do you want to go from beginning to end?
It was phenomenal, man. Like coming into and before we get into this, what happened in this show or this episode? Nobody thought of this, right? Like as far as not the very end, but what led to the very end. Nobody thought of this. Nobody thought that he was gonna go back there. So let me start by saying that right there blew my mind. So getting into the beginning, we knew Loki coming out the gate. We knew he was gonna be repetitions. He's gonna keep doing it over and over till he figures it out.
Yeah, the Groundhog Day, over and over again.
And over. And he got to a point, this is why I want to start at the beginning, where he said, fuck this, Obi. How long is it going to take for me to learn all of this? They sat there and told this man centuries. 5 seconds later, centuries. I said, there's no way. There's no way. He did that for centuries to learn it. That's a strong reason why his performance and just seeing it develop, like the character Loki develop, it was so amazing. So coming off of that centuries, and then he's so like, okay, I got it. Now he knows how to do it. He made it himself. Victor Time is like, oh, this team's kind of fast, don't you think? Like he's already got it down pat. Like everybody looking at him like he's crazy. So I feel like it started strong, it ended strong, the middle was perfect, and God, that performance was amazing. So I'm gonna let y'all speak more on whatever else, but I wanted to start right there.
No, let's keep it in the beginning real quick. Obviously they did the Groundhog Day type of thing, and he's doing it over and over again. Okay, faster. And in my head, I'm like, bro, you need a lot more time than he clicked with him. Like, okay, not faster, more time. So he ended up going further back, and then ended up learning everything, which to me I thought was a little it's centuries, a little ridiculous. Okay, this dude spent centuries learning science and all this mathematician shit. Like, okay, but it was cool. It was cool. Centuries later, he comes back. He knows how to do everything. He puts it in there, and it actually looks like it's gonna work. Right? He fucking does everything. Gets Timely out there. They eject the loom device, and it succeeded. And come to find out, no, it did not succeed. It is not a what did he say? Capacity problem? No, he said it's a capacity problem, right?
What was the word?
I forget what he used, but he said it was a capacity problem. It's infinite. It's just gonna keep going. There's no matter how big we make it, and he just felt defeated. That whole first sequence I thought was good. And it just got better from there. Jet, you have anything to say on that those first 15, 20 minutes of the show? Anything come to mind?
That century shit, that shit did blow my mind. And listening to you talk about it, because it's starting to click. Centuries with an S is fucking absurd.
It's absurd.
Like they probably should have went with a decade or some shit. Like,
but not because people would have been like, Loki didn't learn that. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying.
To me, it was a little.
It feels like that now. Like
I know, but it's because it goes to show that he's a god and he really can do this stuff. It's not like he's a human who would have been brain dead doing that for however many years. But
I think you give a regular human centuries too to just keep learning. I think
you go insane, man.
Maybe you're right on that point. To me, the time was just a little absurd. I'm not. I didn't dock it for anything, but okay, I get it. But yeah, for sure, that was.
It didn't hit me like that just because, and obviously you're smart enough to like gather this too, but it's a comic book, so like them doing some shit like that, like. It didn't shock me. It's just like it was something that I would like not expect, but I can see in a fucking comic book type.
That's another vibe I got from this episode. I felt like I was reading a comic book as they were going through this story.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially the end when he's walking up the steps. But so yeah, right after that, Loki, it doesn't work. What's wrong with it? He tells him, whatever he told him, like it wasn't that. That wasn't the problem. It's just
too
infinite.
Much.
It's too much. It's infinite. You can't add to. It's just impossible. So then, when the realization hits him where he has to go, And he go when I tell you, I almost paused it and texted y'all like, nah, bro. There's no way. There's no way.
I was like, hey, Cody called it. He's got to go back and save this motherfucker because that's what it was.
Like, what?
But go ahead, keep going. You're doing phenomenal.
Bro,
go ahead.
This man went back to the end of season 1, and I'm gonna call it here. This is one of top 5 greatest foreshadows of all time. That man went back to stop Sylvie from killing him. Their interaction being relived. You know, we have the Loki that's been around for a couple more hundreds or a couple more centuries, and he knows everything that's happened, and he knows that he has to stop her because she is gonna end the world. And guess who's sitting in the chair laughing every single time because he knows Loki cannot let this man die. So they keep reliving the fight over and over and over. And every time he dies, see you soon.
See you soon.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was so perfect, man. I was like, this shit is and then to just top it all off, we're seeing him do it over and over. We're thinking it's just happened a couple dozen times. But then when he hits him with that, why haven't you stopped this already? Why haven't you done something about it? He froze time. Said, you haven't learned how to do that yet? We didn't know Loki already. He's done this too many times. Loki stopped time like that. Like he knew. Loki's not playing games no more. Loki has been doing this so many times. He's just ready to cut all the crap out. He's just trying to get this done. Oh man, and
yeah, that was hard. Staying on that scene real quick because
go ahead.
Loki turns around and he goes, "Why aren't you fighting back?" And he's like, "Oh shit, okay, I think it's time to talk to you then." And he pauses Sylvie, and then he whooshes her away to somewhere. He just whooshes her away, and this whole time he could have stopped her whenever he wanted to, bro. It's nothing to him, bro. And Loki's just looking at him like, "What the hell did you just do?" And he's like, "Yeah, so you finally done time slipping, right? And who do you think set that up? Who set up time slipping for you? I put that in place." Bro, that just goes to show you how smart this man was in putting all these fail safes. Okay, so then he has a conversation. Well, before they even have that conversation, he's like, "I'm surprised you haven't figured that out yet." And as he's about to play Sylvia again, he's like, "Well, go do this a couple thousand more times. Tell me when you're ready, and we'll keep going, and we'll have a conversation." And then he unfreezes her. She comes back. She's like, "What the hell?" And then Loki just kind of snaps his fingers or points his finger, and she's frozen. He's like, "So what makes you think we haven't had this conversation already?" Bro, that was insane. That was insane. Bro, that was so cool to see. And amazing. Yeah, they sit down, they have this conversation. Come to find out, the loom isn't what they think it is. The loom is a fail-safe. If something happens to where they need to branch or prune all these branches, the loom will destroy. And it'll prune all these branches, get all these variants out, and it'll just leave the sacred timeline, and it'll just reset the TVA, and they could just rebuild the TVA. I thought that was insane, because this whole time we thought the loom was keeping things together. That's not what it is. It's a fail-safe option. It's fail-safe option. So this man was above all. What did he call himself? What's the acronym for HVA? Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was something like that.
He above all. HUA. What I think it is. He's like, HUA's here, and I was like, bro, this man set time splitting in place for Loki to help him for later on. Crazy. He set a fail safe in case the variants got crazy and he could just destroy everything. So, bro, this man thought of everything, and he's like, all right, you know what? You want to destroy the loom? You want to find a different way? It's not gonna work. Can't you see that we need this? We need me and you can keep this timeline safe. What do you think? Nah, there's got to be another way. I'm gonna find another way. All right, well, go ahead and I'll see you later. They proceed to do that. He's like, I'll change it. He leaves. But that whole scene right there with Jonathan Majors was great performances. Bro. Back and forth between both of them was amazing. Go ahead.
I also want to touch on like the shots he was throwing to Victor, bro. That was so crazy. Oh, yeah. So what did Victor timely tell you? I was like, bro, that's crazy. Not only that though, but I love the way because you know how everybody knows who read the comics, they know about Kang as being the person that comes back over and over, and I love how for this they put it in as he said it himself, I'm reincarnated, baby. Like, I'm reincarnation, baby. Like, he's gonna keep coming back because he knows Loki has to keep coming back. And it's just amazing that he thought all of this out, and that is why it's just that, oh, come on. Like, it was just phenomenal, man.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on that, Jed? You have anything to say about that second act, I guess?
Just the whole he who remains playing a bigger part in it all. That was the one thing that I said in the last video that we were just kind of like predictions for the season finale, and I was like, who remains is gonna have his imprint in this somehow, and it was just cool to see because that was the crown jewel of season one, like that whole 10, 15 minute, 20-minute conversation that he had with Kang in the first season. Um, it introduced Kang as the next big bad, and you really got a feel for like how menacing this guy is as a character, and obviously that was heightened by Jonathan Majors' performance. Um, but it was just really cool for them to go back to what really elevated them in the first season, and that that whole setting was just even more elevated by this finale in season two. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he's like, I'm gonna figure out another way. He ends up leaving. He goes and talks, I believe, to Sylvie first, right?
Yeah,
I think is who he
the
talks
one
to.
where the timeline was being erased.
Yeah, he goes back and talks to her. He pauses time, and she's like, "What's going on? I figured it out. I know how to control it. We're in a place beyond time right now. I think I forget his exact words, but he said something to that effect." And he's telling her,
He didn't
"Hey,
talk to Mobius first?
No,
I don't know.
Mobius was the
the second one?
realization, because he talked to her twice. Remember, he went to her the first time, and then he talked to Mobius, and he went to her a second time. Oh no! I'm lying. No! I'm tripping. You're right. It was
it
Mobius
Mobius
first.
first?
It was Mobius first.
Yeah, because I thought it was when they were sitting at the table.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
he went to her because she was the one that told him to. Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so then he went to Mobius first, and he's back. I think this is episode 1 is when this is happening.
Yes.
He went back to sit down, the interrogation between him and Mobius, and he's like, well, stop all this. I know what's going to happen. You're going to show me the images. You're going to show me my life. This is what you're looking for. I get all that. But how did you decide which branches to kill? You know, we don't kill, we prune. But we don't decide that. The Time Lords. Oh yeah, okay, I get all that. Understand the Time Lord, whatever. I get all that. But at the end of the day, it was you. How did you do that? And he proceeds to tell him a story of how a few hunters went out. They went to go and stop this variant that they thought was killing, I think, 500 lives or something like that.
5,000 people.
5,000 people were gonna die. They get there. This hunter sees who it is, and it turns out to be an 8-year-old child, and it's just innocent to him, and he just couldn't do it. So by doing that, he let out. I don't. Did he say? He said people died anyways, right? Like a couple hunters died.
You already messed up by hesitating.
He messed up the things, yeah. So his partner had to come in and kill or prune is what they said. They had to prune this variant to keep the timeline safe. And Loki read away. And as he was talking, I was like, "This is him. This is his story. This is how."
Yep.
And Loki's like, "Okay, and." That partner, how is he doing? Well, she's a judge now, and she's the reason you're here. And come to find out, it's Renslayer. And he goes, well, how did you deal with that opportunity, or that, what did he say, that option or whatever? How did you deal with the consequences of your actions like that? And well, I mean, what did he say? Do you remember exactly what he said?
Tissue.
Oh, scar tissue. Yeah, he's like scar tissue. I thought that was a phenomenal little scene too between him and Mobius to kind of just put the cherry on top. Like Mobius, Owen Wilson's performance as Mobius was so good in the season. You just see it again in this dialogue. So he's like, "Thank you, Mobius," and he shakes his hand, and he kind of understands what he has to do and the decision he has to make. So then we proceed to go and talk to Sylvie. And he tells her like, "Hey, I've done this. I've tried every other way. I can't do it. There's no other way." And she kind of comes to the realization like, unless you stop me from killing you who remains. Yeah, she knew. And he's like, "Yeah, that's the only way." And he goes, "Okay." And by do that, you have to kill me, right? And then, well, yeah. And then they just kind of stare at each other for a little bit. Well, I'm not gonna give you my blessing, obviously. I'm not gonna give you my blessing. So. Did she say anything else after that? To what effect? That they just kind of like came to terms with it?
No, because he was like, after she said that, he said, "Well, what do I do?" Because he still didn't know what to do, and that's when she basically convinced him by telling him like, we still don't have free will if you let this go on. So it's not helping anybody. What you need to do is let us have a chance. Give us a chance to fight for us. Don't just let us go and it was just.
From that, he goes back into the timely, right before Victor. He's like, he goes back and takes his spot, right? That's the whole scene that we get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was.
He goes down into the bottom, closes the doors, turns around to Sylvie and says, "I know what kind of god I want to be." Walks out of the thing, bro. He's able to take all this radiation like nothing. I guess it's his god powers, and he's good. Then we proceed to get probably one of the coolest scenes, maybe even the coolest.
That's
scene
one of the
for me
best
that
scenes
I've
in the
ever
MCU.
seen. Yeah, like
That's one of
that
the
shit
best
was
scenes, yes.
insane to see. It was beautiful. The CGI was amazing. You get his clothes starting to burn off with the radiation, and he starts transforming into Loki, God Loki, and he gets this like black, I don't know, suit with a black cape.
Shit was tough.
You see his horns starting to grow, and he's coming back. Then he's walking at the end of the thing. He starts like putting his hands up right to destroy the loom. He's like, I'm gonna destroy the loom.
Yeah.
Breaks the loom. All the branches just go flying everywhere. And that was such a cool scene to see all these branches, and it's just dark, and he's just there, and he starts grabbing branches, and they make a comment because everybody's watching this in the back, and he's like, well, the branches are dying, the branches are dying. He starts grabbing the branches, putting life into them, it looks like. They start turning green, and he just starts to tug it, bro. He just starts to pull them towards the end of the catwalk, and it was like a great moment of like, this man is not carrying the world on his back, but carrying the multiverse on his back. Like, he is trying to give them a chance to fight. And proceeds to walk through this, I guess, space-time opening. Walks in there and just has all these branches, goes through. Such a phenomenal scene. You see the chair for He Who Remains, the throne.
That's it was that. Yeah, that was that area. So he ended up going to the end of time, back to where He Who Remains was. Mm-hmm. And what's I think is, because we haven't gotten there yet, but what's amazing about that is, where does Renslayer play in this whole thing? Because she was put in the same area, kind of, almost.
She was put I forget the name of that place, right? That's where they threw Loki. All the Loki variants get thrown in there. I forget the name of that place, and they have that giant monster.
They get pruned, right?
Yeah, but this is what's crazy about that, because if y'all remember the pan, they panned over, and what you see on the ground is the thing in the TVA. It says as always,
for all time,
always. Yeah. So what happened to the TVA, or what's going on? Like,
I don't know if that was like exactly like a point in time where the TVA was, or if certain pieces from the TVA are just falling or getting pruned and falling into this dimension, so to speak. And that's what it was. Yeah, I had a question for that too. I'm not sure what the heck that was. I have no idea.
And then,
to me, it sounds like pieces falling.
Yeah. So then going back to Loki, it's like, I mean, he's sitting at the throne of time. He's holding it all together. How long is he going to be doing this for?
I think he's a god, man. He's the guy. He can do this for all time, right? Like that's his quote unquote like responsibility now, which was so cool to see too. All these branches, because the whole time we see the branches, it's one singular line and it's a branch and things go off. Now you see, I guess, what it was meant to be, and it's the tree of life, so to speak, and it just turned vertical, and that's how it was depicted. And I thought that was so awesome to see, man. Yeah. He's just sitting at the center of it all, bro. He's God, bro. Like this guy. Honestly, we had a discussion about who is the strongest MCU character, and when Secret Invasion came out, obviously it was her, the Super Skrull. But damn, I think it's Loki. It's Loki, man. If this man ever finds a way out of that or can come, bro, it's Loki. He can pause time. He can, bro.
The second I saw the pausing time, I said, no, it's Raps. Nobody's beating him, bro. What are we doing? There's no conversation.
Go ahead.
Let's have some fun. Where does Loki stand in terms of best written characters in the MCU?
Best written.
Currently, off of just
you got him best written?
Yeah, I do. Right now, yes.
Tony is up there.
Up there. Okay.
Yeah, he's up there. I'm trying to debate.
Yeah.
I think for me, if I'd have to say right now, Tom is up there. I think he is the guy right now. Most well-written characters, most well-performed characters. He's up there. But I think who's next? Tony. Who else did? Chris Evans. Obviously, these people are Iron Man. They are Captain America. Who else? Who other performances would you guys have up there to maybe compete with him? Besides those two.
Well, I think Justin just meant the character. You meant just the character being like their story, right? Or did you mean the performance, Justin?
No, not the performances. The written. How the character's written.
How the character? Oh, then yeah, he takes it.
That's what I'm saying. It has to
I still got Iron Man above. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's crazy.
On how he's.
How's that crazy?
His Loki's character arc alone is better than Tony's.
I can't get down with that one.
He went from literal I'm gonna be king. You saw him when he was sitting in the chair on the flashback, basically, like, I'm gonna be king of the throne, like that's my throne for this. Like, he's not that anymore, man. He is above all of that, man. He only cares about just trying to keep everybody like it's just to see him evolve from that in such little time is phenomenal, man. It was crazy. Nobody else has had an arc like that.
I think he is like the most character developed character that we have. Honestly, like from where he started to where he ended and how he wants to be. Yeah, I think so.
It was perfect.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome to see. Yeah, so then I thought it ended there. I honestly thought, like, we see the tree, it zooms out. I was like, oh shit, that was insane. I get up, I about to put my headphones back on. I put on the check to see how much time. 15 minutes is still left. I'm like, oh my god, okay, never mind. Put the headphones back down. Let's keep going then. And yeah, that's when I think you get the Renslayer shot, right? She's left in after getting pruned. She's left there. We get Mobius and we get the TVA, and they got the Tree of Life just sitting on their monitor, and now they're monitoring everything. Then we go to Mobius's desk, and they're talking about, okay, have any variants found us yet? Oh. No variants have found us. He passes them a file. This is adjacent 616 adjacent had a variant, and they took care of it. So as for right now, we're good.
Ant-Man. That was
and
Ant-Man.
It was Ant-Man. It was Kang's Ant-Man. I don't know. I guess he was just another variant. It's just another variant looking. Eventually, you're gonna find the TVA. Maybe they converge on it. I don't know, but they answered that question, and I guess he's done, right? Like they took care of him, and he said for now, right? So they kind of left the door open. And for now,
that's because of the other ones, and I think this is something that's pretty. Like we have to keep in mind. He Who Remains pointed out that even though we had a sacred timeline, his variants were out there. They are still there, and he was talking about the Council of Kings. So I don't know where that's gonna happen on what movie besides the Kang Dynasty, but right now Loki on a standalone is where it needs to be because it's not being a part of the MCU no more. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't tease anything at the end. There was no end credit scene. There was nothing to say that this has something to do with the Council of Kings is on the way or anything. They threw in that line right there. Where has anybody found us? And that's pretty much all we got to that. So I thought that was cool. But then staying with that, then Mobius goes back, right? And he goes to see, he's ready to move on. He's ready to go back to his life. And I always forget her name. 15? X-15?
B-15.
B-15. Just kind of like, no, we'll miss you if you ever want a seat in that table. Come back. It's yours.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. So then he leaves and goes and sees himself. And I thought he was going to be put in place to just pick up where his life left off, but no, he's looking at another variant of himself and his kids. So I thought that was cool to see, and he's and Sylvie shows up, like, hey, you okay? It's crazy not to have Loki here. Yeah, no, it is. All right, you ready to go? No, I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna let time pass. Just let time pass, because he's always in a place where time's still and time doesn't mean anything, and he just kind of wants to relish the moment, I guess, of what could have been or what could be. So I thought that was a cool scene to see. And then end credits, right? So that whole episode, like we mentioned, was well written, well performed. CGI was amazing. Probably like I said, the coolest scene in the MCU to date. So I absolutely loved this episode. This was great.
So let's just state out the big obvious here. So we just realized that He Who Remains had this plan from the jump. And in his conversations with Loki, he told him there's nothing you can do. It's either sacred timeline or nothing. So how is this an outcome? Unless he has something to do with it. And he knows Loki would have did this.
Does he and He Who Remains eyes, once you destroy the loom, that's it. Everything gets destroyed. But Loki found a way around that.
And that's what I'm saying. He Who Remains should have known about this way around it. But it's as if he didn't know about it, because he said it was either sacred or no. So how is this possible unless it's a part of a bigger plan again?
Maybe. I mean, with He Who Remains, I don't think you can ever just like not count him out or not have. You can't do that. I think obviously this could be something that he's already foreseen, and maybe he's gonna let it play out, and Loki will realize this isn't working anymore, and
because
gotta go back. But
what did he say? And I quote: "You think I would let her kill me?" Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. How would you guys feel? Yeah, if he still have to go back to He Who Remains, I think it's played out. I think this was such a satisfying ending in a way.
It
around,
was.
Around
and
that,
I
that
agree.
If they go back, I don't
just
know.
that hype of him being that he really is that guy type deal. I don't think you just go out that simple where Loki could just use his time slipping and go fix it like that. Like, I feel like, nah, bro, he wouldn't let that happen. He went through all of this. He knows about all of this. There's no way he just lets that happen. I don't see that.
Nah, there's a distinct difference because in the end of season one, they literally said there's going to be a season two.
Mm.
So I think this Loki story, if it's not done, it's definitely put on pause unless they reference it or it comes into play in the movies. But I think they're gonna focus on the Kang Dynasty, and plus it's already about to be 2024. Those movies got pushed back a year, but if you killed the Kang that everybody thought that Kang Dynasty was gonna be about, you gotta already start to put other things in place. And we're gonna talk about it on the pod tomorrow, but more Marvel movies have been pushed back. And so from my memory, I think there's only one Marvel movie next year.
Dang.
So
Wow.
they gotta get going.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if this is the way it ends, this was satisfying. This was amazing. The whole Loki show was just phenomenal. So I'm good. I'm good with it either way. I mean, like those news reports came out that the TVA is still involved and they're gonna bring people back and shit's gonna happen. And I guess I could see that where the TVA is involved, but not necessarily Loki, right? Like, so we'll see what happens.
Because what
that.
could Loki do? He can't do anything. He has to sit there until something's done.
I think him being able to sit there, I don't know, however long, centuries, right? I guess, and he'll figure out a way to kind of maybe put things on pause
until the end of King Dynasty. Because I feel like he does have a comeback. If the story continues and we're getting more of this, he has to have a comeback.
Yeah, well, hopefully they right the ship. Kevin Feige just come right the ship, man. You guys see what Loki did. Incorporate that somehow, some way into your bigger picture. Because those guys over there at Loki just did it right, man. This was so great. Any final thoughts, boys? Anything else you guys want to talk about before we head out?
The Iron Man disrespect is crazy.
You're insane. You're insane.
So
most selfish
you guys
man
haven't
in the
seen
world sacrificed himself for the world.
Oh,
shit is crazy.
But
I don't know. What is that face? There is nothing crazy about that statement. What is that face?
Loki sacrificed literally everything to give them a chance.
Sacrificed everything?
Yes.
What the hell did he lose?
Himself. He has to sit at the end of time alone.
Nigga, this ain't Eminem. What the hell are you talking about?
What are we doing, man? Loki has to hold the timelines together.
And you still think he's coming back?
Yes.
Iron Man ain't got that.
Because at the end of the day,
got that option.
Iron Man's coming back. We all know he's coming.
That false ass report. There's no fucking way.
Nah, he's coming.
I would walk out if they bring. I would walk out of the theater.
What if it's a different variant? It's a variant of Iron Man.
Bro,
Like
it better be Tom Cruise.
Revival.
It's Tom Cruise.
Hey, hell yeah, Tom Cruise. I mean, shit, you know me. Give me Tom Cruise. That was awesome. I was about to go into some other shit, but that's for the next review. My bad.
Yeah, I was about to.
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah. No. Well, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Make sure you guys stay tuned because we saw the Marvels as well. And we're gonna go ahead and review that next, so we'll give you our thoughts on that. But in the meantime, we appreciate you guys watching this one. Go check out Loki, man. If you haven't done it, go do it. Go do it. It's freaking awesome. But anyways, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys keep it locked to LFG, where we got you covered for anything and everything in pop culture. We appreciate you guys watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.